Welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds. Small side note, I recorded this update once already, and the recording barked on me. So here we are again! For those of you wondering why I don't save, like, in the middle of a recording, that's why. So I get the chance to do things again if something happens. But last time, we collected all of the Mai-Mais, powered up all our crap, and man, we got us a swing. Today, we're collecting all of the heart pieces. But first, there's something we should tackle first. You may recall that there is a side dungeon here that continues to exist in Lorule. So we've just got to make our way over and figure out how to enter. This is actually something we could not do before, but we can do now. So clearly then, the Titan's Mitts aren't required for progression, but they are useful for some things, such as picking up this rock. And it's dark in here. Oh boy! 1 rupee! You may recall this place. This is indeed the passage under the graveyard that takes us inside the passageway to the sanctuary. Of course, the sanctuary doesn't exist. Man, 5 rupees. Going up in the world. The sanctuary doesn't exist as it did before, but a fair amount of the trip is still there. Now here, you actually have to wall your way over to get this small key. Now this little passageway here also exists in Hyrule, not just Lorule. We'll be getting to that eventually, though. You see, you may recall how in, I think it was the bandits' hideout, we got a piece of Master Ore. The Master Ore lets us upgrade the Master Sword. However, we need 2 pieces of ore in order to do that. There are 4 pieces of ore total, so we have 1 of them. Left one makes snakes fall down. Two of the remaining 3 are in the dungeons we are yet to go to. And the last one is right there. Which means now we can upgrade the Master Sword. What would be the best way to get there? I will use this broom as much as is necessary. I don't want to break it though, that'd be bad. Now, in order to upgrade the Master Sword, we need to head off to the blacksmith. Who we've met many times already. I know where he is. I've got some work to do, but he'll be alright. I sure do. And with that, we obtain the Tempered Sword. You got it, dude. Yes, the Red Tempered Sword, and our Master Sword is now more powerful. There's one last thing that I would like to do before we actually start proper, and that is over at the witch's house. He does. I do! You may be wondering what happened to Irene. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab one of these. 50 rupees restores 8 hearts. That won't be a full cure, but I wouldn't want to use it when I'm too low anyway. And I've discovered that the fairies were actually kind of nerfed in this game. When a fairy revives you, they only revive you with 5 hearts, which really isn't much to get by on. So actually, potions are a lot more useful in this game than they were before. And with that, on to the heart pieces. There are 28 heart pieces total, and I'll be showing you where they all are, even the ones I've already gotten. The first of which... Got a brand new sword, I'm getting wrecked by a snake. The first of which is down this hole and used to be right here. The second used to be right here behind the blacksmith's shop. The next used to be in this small enclosure in the Lost Woods. I mentioned before that there was indeed a ledge in here, and it is right up there. So as one would expect, much like we got to it in Low Rule, we've just got to run our way around. And painting our way over to it. Next, just east of Lake Hylia, once you get the Pegasus boots, you can talk to this guy who will challenge you to a race. This race takes you across all of Hyrule and ends at Rosso's house. Pretty much as far away as you can get before you start coming back. Now, there is a much easier way to do this one. You can complete this as intended, though. It's not easy, requires a great deal of precision, but can be done. I, on the other hand, am doing it a little bit differently. One of those buttons. I don't dash a lot. Now here, I wonder if it's even worth it in the most part in order to dash, given how much you have to run by. Probably worth it there, and probably worth it here too. Well, no, because... Almost there. 61.6, not bad. And we get 100 rupees for it. Now that was, as he said, simply the easy course. There is still the intermediate. The intermediate course is 65 seconds, which you saw we still did beat quite handily before. And with a little bit of extra precision, we should be fine. Keep in mind that while you're both going into low rule and fiddling about with the menus and flying and everything, the timer is still counting down. Coming through! Now we've just got to take a dip into Rosso's house, and we should be able to make it out with plenty of time to spare. I don't especially know. There we go. I don't especially know if it would be worth it to try... And there's Harpies. I don't especially know if you can fly in Hyrule. Maybe they stop you from doing it in Hyrule. Or perhaps there's simply not a point near enough by for it to be worth the attempt. Just south of Eastern Palace, the next piece used to be right here. Just south of Kakariko Village, you may recall the Cuckoo Lady. Cuckoo Lady? Cuckoo? I don't know. I've already shown this off once. There are harder courses. Egg and Chick. Once you beat Chick, it unlocks an even harder course, Rooster. Our goal is Rooster. But first, we've got to beat Chick. It's recommended you turn your 3D on and turn it to the highest setting for this, because some of these will actually fly over your head, and it's much easier to tell which ones you actually need to dodge with the 3D on. Well, they were reasonably kind to me that time. And we double our money. Ah, but the real challenge is yet to come! Hey! Of course, the trouble with having the 3D turned high or low is, of course, that if I turn the 3DS even a little bit to one side or the other, I suddenly can't see anything at all. Right next door is the Rupee Rush minigame. We've had this explained before, but the idea is you have 30 seconds to collect as many rupees as you can. Your goal is 50 rupees. That shouldn't be that bad. I recommend going in with the tornado rod and the hammer on this one. Now, the biggest trick to this one is if you finish with less than a second left, it will triple your score. So your goal is to hit 150 total. I have a stopwatch. The timer starts as soon as you gain control of Link, not when the symbol for start shows up. Oh no, that looks super nice. I don't know how many I've collected. I'm pretty sure I'm good. I've got about 5 seconds left. Oh, please don't tell me I went over. If I went over by like half a second. Ah! All because I fell in the water. I should be pretty good. .25. And that's 88 rupees. Times 3. Decent way to make money if you can do that consistently as well. And for breaking 150, we get our piece of heart. Our next piece, just east of Hyrule Castle, used to be between these rocks. Just south of Zora's Domain, there's a waterfall here that used to have a piece of heart behind it. Just south of the Eastern Palace, there used to be a rock blocking this door that you could bomb through. And inside used to be a piece of heart. On the eastern side of the swamp, just west of Lake Hylia, there used to be a secret passage here that you couldn't even see, but bomb it open. And inside was a piece of heart, as well as some rupees. Up on Death Mountain, right next to the Tower of Hera, there's a passage here you can go through that takes you between Spectacle Rock and inside a cave where you can wander up and around, find some fairies, and a piece of heart. You may recall this place inside Death Mountain on the way to Rosso's coal mine. Take this platform over, it'll take you to a hub platform where there are springboards that take you to a piece of heart. I'm not going over there again. You may recall this lady, who the first time we came in through the portal in back. And instead of simply a small heart, we were given a piece of heart. Rupee Rush 2.0, now in low rule. The exact same rule applies. I suggest going in with the Sand Rod and the Hook Shot. Your goal is 50 rupees. As long as you can get the ×3 bonus, you're good. Careful of the shadows. I don't believe I've gotten anything decent in the way of rupees. But I've got to turn in. Oh, I made it! In fact, maybe I would suggest going in there with the hammer instead, because I tend to not actually use the other ones. I'm sure if you went up there you could get a lot more, like if you actually learn the course. But hey, get a piece of heart out of it. Next up is the baseball derby. I don't think I'm going to be getting this piece of heart. I've tried this one several times, and I can't even get close to the number that you actually need. I'm just not any good at this minigame at all, and it's not fun. So I don't see a reason to devote so much time to it to luck upon winning. But the gist of it, if you want at least a few tips, is you want to kill as many crows as possible. You need 100 rupees total, and each crow nets you 20 rupees. A crow will spawn after you break 3 pots in a row. If you're having trouble hitting 3 pots in a row, killing the crabs, of which there are 2, will make all the pots respawn. That's the gist of it. I may devote some time to doing this later, but to be honest, I think I'm just going to be finishing this game down 1 heart piece. If you take the large bomb to the east side of the swamp, you'll be able to blow apart the rock here, which contains inside a piece of heart. Just outside the Palace of Darkness, you'll see these two thin platforms, and on the end of the right one, there used to be a piece of heart. At the top of the graveyard, there's a portal back to Hyrule. And a cave, which used to contain a piece of heart. Just south of the Lost Woods, just north of town, on the other side of the crack, there's a small dip in this building which used to hold a piece of heart. Just east of the forest, in the broken down Lorule version of Rosso's house, on this ledge used to be a piece of heart. To get there, you would simply grab a Kuko and jump off of the top. Back at the blacksmith's house, there's a rock right in his front yard. And inside is a piece of heart. In Hyrule's desert, of course you had to get here by using the sand rod. There used to be some rocks blocking this portal to Lorule. Bomb them to make your way in. And in Lorule, you will find a piece of heart. In the Thieves' Town, there's a house with a treasure chest game. It's 200 rupees, so it is certainly not cheap. And there are 15 chests. You get to open 3, which means you have approximately a 1 in 5 chance of actually finding it. If you're doing this 5 times, that means you're going to be running through about 100 rupees, not counting, of course, money you make back from this. Now, in the first recording, I got this first try on my first chest. Let's see if I'm so lucky. Well, at least I made my money back. There we go. That took about 4 tries. But in the end, I actually made money on the deal. And a heart piece. On Lorule's Death Mountain, normally this passage just to my right would take you down through Rosso's coal mine in Hyrule, or at least it would take you to there. In Lorule, it takes you through a similar ice-like dungeon. I guess it's more of a cave than a dungeon, really. So we've already done this once before. We just have to slowly make our way from one side to the other. No, come back! I was told you can actually block those things with your shield, the spike balls. I don't know how much I like that idea. Like, that's just gonna bang me around, isn't it? On the off chance I manage to even point it in the right direction. Now, I'll grab the fire rod because of this guy. But your goal here is to go to the left. Now, last time I came in here, I went indeed to the left. And then immediately went down. If you wait, a platform will lower up north. This I overlooked last time. Now the tricky thing here is, it's not necessarily hard to time these, it's mostly hard to tell when the platforms are moving at all. And we exit on this small platform with a portal to Hyrule. And that is where the heart piece resides. At the top of Death Mountain is Treacherous Tower. $100 rupees, and for it, you enter the beginner's course. The beginner's course isn't really going to net us anything. And yes, a game over in here is a game over for real. But it's just 5 stages, so it shouldn't really be that hard. And that spin is going to wreck. I call those guys are just little 2D guys. Shaking. Crabs! Man. Two. These guys can be tricky. Three. These guys I know for a fact will be tricky. 4 and 5. Hamburger Moldorm returns. Thankfully, with this sword, he only takes 3 hits. And for winning, they really want to show their gratitude. Throw you a ton of money. And you gain access to the intermediate course. Now this is where I would very much like to save. But who knows what'll happen to this recording, especially after last time. This is why I stocked up with that potion. I've got 3 fairies otherwise. I'm gonna give the Tornado Rod and the Hammer a go, and let's hope this works out for me. 15 floors, only one of them is a real challenge. Just one guy, not so bad. Oh, but he's not just one guy. He's There's a lot of guys. But that's okay, they're kind of weenies. Bats. Getting that charge shot off on the first couple guys is always a little bit tricky. Four, hammer comes into play. Five, hack and pray. Six, your biggest danger is getting knocked in the pit, of course. Just make sure you've got some distance between your back and a pit. These guys you should be able to charge up. These guys, you've got plenty of time to build up a charge. These guys are kind of annoying because there's not a good way to deal with them. You can't stun them? I wonder. Doesn't appear to do much. Oh no, I blew his helmet off. That room is a little bit annoying, but that bomb helps considerably. Mummy room, easy as cake because you can just hit stun, or you can just bind them, stun lock them by hacking at them. This is the worst floor in this entire thing. Just don't get frozen, really. That's your main goal. Crap. Also, knock him into pits. Crap. Don't knock yourself into pits. Oh, he died, so that's cool. Boo! Man! How did I even hit him? You saw how far away from his butt I was? And he fell into a pit too, so that's even cheaper. Well, one fairy down really isn't bad on that course, so I've still got like 2 fairies and a potion to get me through the rest of these. This is another room where you've got plenty of time to charge up. Assuming you don't frickin' stab them with your sword. This room is super easy. Charge up, then go in. Wait for them all to wake up and come at you. Kill them all at once. Another room that's pretty easy. Kill those 2 guys, then real quick get the bow and arrow and just shoot that guy. 3 arrows kills him, and that keeps him away from me as well. Oh, I forget what floor we're on. How do I want to approach this last one? This room is kind of a jerk. There's just not a lot you can really do with that many dudes with shields. I mean, I guess I can do that. It stuns them for a second. Yay! And with one fairy, no less. Didn't need the potion, didn't need the other fairies. I think I'll pass. There are only 2 pieces of heart left in the game that we don't have. The one from the baseball derby, and this one. This one is right near Turtle Rock. You have to go into Turtle Rock in order to get this one. So I won't be getting it for a while. Until next time, everyone, we've collected pretty much all that there is to collect without actually going into any of these dungeons. So next time, I go into the dungeon that y'all have picked for me. Until then,